Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth. Flipper, welcome. I got a maze back here, and this is partly this is part of what I want to talk about. I've talked about going in a slightly new direction, and I want to explain that a little bit, and it's not going to be terribly different. I'm going to do what I've always done, but I've added a few things because I did have trouble sourcing, and I wanted to change that. I just didn't want to do woe is me. I can't find what I used to find. Wanted to practice what I preach. I want to talk about that a little bit today, plus I'm a little upset. I gotta be honest with you, something happened with some of my packages that I think is ridiculous, and I want to complain to UPS for just a second. Let's go take a look. So before I get into all that throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to pull a few items and just generally speak about eBay sales. The next video I think will be very, very different than this. It's one I haven't done in a while, and I'll let you see it next time. But this one, I'm going to pull orders, talk about what's selling, but I'm also going to address a few of these changes that I'm making, see if some of them relate to you. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, and then explain the steps that brought me to those things. So it should be fun. But this is the first one right here, little James Brown, dancing, shouting James Brown. It's been a long time since I bought this because I can't even remember where I got it, to be honest. But it sold for 56 bucks plus shipping. Sales have been, well, up and down but steady, if that makes any sense. Day to day up and down, but over the week steady. J.C. Higgins vintage like barn jacket. This one sold well, $56.95 plus shipping. I got a treat visitor in here. I want to point this out. This is at Sears and Roebuck, and look, it has this issue pointed out in the listing. It's still sold for that much, so this is easy stuff to pass up, but sometimes you find some winners. And that's part of, this isn't really, the video is about some changes that I've been slowly talking about, but I wanted you to see some of the culmination of it. And the risk, I guess involved in some of it. There's a little bit of expense to it, a little bit of investment to it, which I don't suggest everybody do, but I do suggest everybody get to the point where if you make that decision, you're able to make it. Faint heart never won fair lady, right? And that's kind of the way I've been viewing things lately. I do believe there's massive opportunity out there, but you got to put yourself in a position to capitalize on it. And pivot a little bit. Like I said, didn't want to do shoes anymore, unless they're like $50. Well, that's true. But I wasn't sourcing very well. I wasn't finding much stuff at garage sales for a few weeks, and they were getting rained out. So I saw a ton of shoes for $5 a pair, and I'm like, well, you got to do what you got to do, right? And I bought them. So this was one of those pairs. They've been selling between $30 and $50 for the shoes that I bought for $5 a piece. These sold for $40, $39.95 plus shipping. So when I was going through that dry period, and that happens up here from time to time because this isn't exactly a mecca for sourcing. So if it gets lean a couple weeks, you really feel it. When I was going through that time period, that's when we were really bearing down on the fall stuff. I wanted to get it all out. Everything in that death pile needed to get listed. I wasn't just like, woe is me, I don't have anything to list. I don't have anything. I'm not sourcing good stuff. I decided to make some decisions. That was one of them. What I'm going to show you in a minute were the other ones. This was a tough one to decide whether to list or not, but since I was low on inventory, I decided to list it, and because it had the styrofoam. It's a Dragon Hourglass. I'll show you a picture. And I paid next to nothing for this stuff at a yard sale. I'm like, do I want to list this big old thing for $14.95 plus shipping? But in the end, because it didn't have much, I decided I would. And it did sell $14.95 plus shipping. Y'all, look at these lazy dogs. Y'all tore up a bunch of stuff and then you took a nap. I don't know about all that. You think you deserve a treat for taking a nap and tearing up a bunch of stuff? This one was a bit of a surprise, but it kind of goes along the same lines of what I was talking about. And I just forced myself, even though I had low inventory. Sometimes you got to force yourself into doing something, to making a change. Of listing everything that I did have, like wildfire, just crazy, just get it all up and get it all listed. Then I had absolutely nothing, and it made me adapt and change my business model a little bit, sourcing side anyways. This is a Den Mother outfit. This one's super old. It's got these patches on here, and it sold, believe it or not, for $75 plus shipping. This next one, I've kind of trained myself to stop picking up car manuals, because the sell-through rate on them is just awful sometimes. But I don't ignore them when they say Corvette on it. And I was out picking with my wife. This has been quite a while ago, maybe 8-9 months ago. And I saw this for $1. I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy that. And I looked it up, it sells for 40 bucks, $39.95 plus shipping. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. I see Turner out there. He was doing some sweeping. They broke a glass playing basketball. So this is Jess's car. I have no idea how she has that much money to buy that nice car, but here's part of the equation, and I'm going to show you some more of this equation here in a second. All right, so we forced ourselves here to get everything up and posted. This was a contact buy that I bought. I still haven't dealt with it. It's been here for 2 weeks sitting here. Massive Tupperware buy. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to force myself into doing stuff. And this isn't exactly the stuff I want to list. However, I'll pull out some cool ones that I want to list that are selling well. Yeah. The boys are playing football out here. And that's what we'll do. And then I'll lot the other stuff up on Shop Commons, probably the bulk of it. This was a connection from some local resellers that I know. I just started putting my name out there, starting calling people that I've known that resell forever and doing buyouts. I'm not going to sit there and not have inventory during Q4, so I forced myself into making some decisions. Plus, look at this, y'all. I got lucky. Jess, we got a lot of work. She says job security. Yeah. We are listing stuff like crazy on Shop Commons, lives, statics, Dibdit sales. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Come and join us because now we have way more inventory than we need. Most of this is yard sales from last week, as is a lot of this. I also did a buyout. I did a storage unit. I did a basement buyout through my buddy Joey Pinjo, who's got some connections, and I just started getting out there. I will never give up yard selling, but it's going to be part of my business. It's not going to be all of it. I can't be dependent on having a good yard sale month right before Q4. So we have all of this stuff. And if you remember from just a couple weeks ago, it was completely empty in here. And now we're overflowing with merchandise. And then my buddy Mike Death Pile Picker called me up. He said, hey, I'm moving again. You want to buy everything I got? Not quite. He's just made the decision that he wants to really niche down into the things that he loves. He's sitting over there right now. And he loves action figures and old toys, vintage stuff like me, and video games. And he's like, I can find so much down there, and I'm moving. I don't want to move it again. Would you like to buy it? So I said, you know what, Mike? How are you going to get it all up here? And of course, we have that other trailer. He was going to come up here, get that trailer, go all the way down there, bring it all the way back, go all the way down there, use that trailer to move stuff. I'm like, that's ridiculous, because you know what I need? I need a smaller trailer. I need a smaller trailer because I want to do storage units this winter when it gets slow, because I now have all these other outlets, these marketplaces that I've helped to build, and I want to use them. And so I said, hey, how about I just buy a trailer down there from here, and you purchase it, fill it up, bring it up here. Because I need this, because you can't get in and out of these storage units with that monstrosity over there. And that's what we're going to use. Matter of fact, we're going to use it here pretty quick on some sourcing trips. So now we have this trailer right here. It is full of merchandise. I just paid him for it, and I'm excited about it. So I'm set and ready to roll. And my plan is to actually put things on that trailer, like not you know, Commonwealth Picker and all the average, not Shop Commons and not Dibdit and whatever, but just put stuff on that trailer like, hey, here's a phone number you can call if you have a basement you want to sell, somebody's attic, if you want to have an estate you want to sell. And if it's really big, we'll get the big trailer and do it. And if it's not, we have that one. My buddy Pinjo is going to use that trailer and hopefully help us find some storage units that we could handle this winter. Should be fun. I'm branching out. I'm not giving up on garage sales ever. I'm always going to go to them. They're my passion. They're my love. But at some point, you have to protect your business. And if you're growing on the sales side because of extra platforms and stuff you're doing, you got to ensure that you have sourcing techniques that work. And I don't want to do the sourcing techniques that are probably best for a lot of people. You know, contracting with manufacturers and doing all that stuff and getting overstock. It just bores me. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I just like cool old stuff. That's what I want to find. That's what I enjoy selling. And so I've done this. So there's been an investment into this by buying that trailer, by buying that storage unit. And I'm okay with that investment. And that's part of what I want to talk about too. But I got to pull a couple more orders too. And some other factors that have changed what I'm doing, not necessarily on the sourcing side, but on the selling side, is I'm looking for items out there that I can buy in bulk that I can sell that are necessities, or maybe even not buy in bulk. Even if they're not high dollar items, if they've got great sell-through rates. I'll give you an example in a minute. NFL hat. I think that one's going to be in here. I don't know what's in this. Oh, that's a lot of hats right there. I'm looking for a Jaguars hat here. I have listed stuff under what I'm looking for, that $15 limit, but I'm only picking them up if it's super cheap. I've changed my model with that too. I'm not going to overpay for merchandise as well. Jaguars hat right there. That one only sold for like $11.50 plus shipping. So I've allowed myself to buy things. I bought some Gillette razors the other day for $1, but they were new in the package. The sell-through rate on them was great. They were $12.95. There's no risk in those. They're not going to get returned, or more than likely they're not going to get returned. So I allowed myself to do that. I have been actively sourcing for new sources while I'm out garage sailing, making contacts, giving my phone number out. I even made up a business card that says, that doesn't have, you know, Commonwealth picker on it, all that stuff. It's just got, hey, I want to buy your stuff. Here's my card. And I'm actively trying to find those sources. And so far, a little bit of it's paying off. And hopefully a little bit more will this winter. And then in the spring, I might not do it quite as much and probably won't do storage units and all that. We'll see. And this shirt right here was part of a bulk buy, and it's not a huge winner, but certainly every little thing helps. $15 for this little VMI football sweatshirt, short sleeve sweatshirt, plus shipping. So I guess to sum it up, sourcing smarter, not just the way I love to do it, because I'm always going to do that, but sourcing smarter, being more effective out there, giving myself an opportunity to have more of those bigger buys that can last me a little bit longer, especially in the wintertime. Buying things cheaper. I'm just being tough out there, y'all. If I'm not getting as much for something on eBay, I'm not going to pay as much. And that's part of the game too, right? You got to look at your costs. Trying to find those low-risk items, not those necessarily... I'm still going to buy VHS or VCRs and stuff like that, but those lower dollar items need to be low risk, low cost. So I'm doing that. I'm looking out for things that I can part out. You know, this economy is creating a lot of folks that are buying high end, and it's also creating folks that are looking for the absolute deal. If they can repair something themselves, if they can buy a part here and it's going to cost them a third of what the whole new thing. I'm catering to all different places in this mixed economy. And of course, I am buying high sell-through rate items, or I'm buying items that if you put the right price on it and you beat everybody by, you know, pennies, you'll be the seller even if it's not high sell-through rate, which is like this. This is the egg keeper for Tupperware. And imagine my cost of goods when I bought all of that Tupperware out there for 60 bucks, all of it. And there's hundreds and hundreds of pieces. So you're into something like this for, you know, a quarter, 50 cents, something like that. You sell it for 10. Actually, this one on a send offer, so $9.50 plus shipping. And yes, I know the time involved, and some people wouldn't do that, and I totally get it. But for me, the time involved in this is very little. It's still going to make me 40, 50 bucks an hour because I'm going to spend 5 minutes total on that item. But everybody has their own different strategy, so I don't criticize people who tell me, hey, I would never pick up something I could sell for 10 bucks, even if it was free. I get that. But it's Tupperware. I can't help it. The other thing I want to say is people will tell me, you know, hey, well, you can do that because you've got social media income that could buy that trailer. And that's true to some degree, but let me tell you, this is a practice that I have had for 20 years. I have always taken a portion of my sales and put it in an operating budget for my business. I've always had expendable capital. There's never been a deal. Should I say never? I can't think of one. There's never been a deal that I didn't make because I didn't have the money to make it. Now, that doesn't mean I've always had opportunities to make $10,000 deals. I made an offer on one buyout for $50,000 one time. I didn't get it, but I made the offer. There's never been a chance that I haven't taken because of lack of ability to do that. But that took 2 decades to get to that point where I could have that expendable capital. And I highly suggest, even if you're just barely making it every month, if you can start to build a process where you take, even if it's 5% of every sale, and put it in an operating budget for that chance that you get an opportunity that you don't want to pass up, I would do it. I would find a way. I would scrape, I would claw, I would do whatever it is, whether it's these roundup apps that you could do, you know, whatever. If it's change in change jars. I do that still with my kids. I took my kids to the bank the other day, and they made a deposit. We always do the $1 to save, $1 to spend, and $1 to donate. And we take that money and they physically deposit into the bank for the money to save. And so when we do that, we'll take the change that we accumulate and we'll put it in that operating budget. And I give them a little bit as well. It was getting so lean, I really doubled down even on jeans. If I was at a sale and I just hadn't found much that day and I saw a fill a bag for $5 sale, I did it. These are just some Wrangler gray pants. They don't sell for much. But I filled a bag. I mean, I'm probably in them for 75 cents. They sold for 20 bucks plus shipping. Forgot to mention that the Jacksonville Jaguar hat was bought by William. He loves watching the YouTube channel. William, we thank you. Thanks. And any chance you could get a sticker. So we always throw little stickers in and a card, which I'm running out of, by the way. So if you don't get one in the near future, we've reordered them. So thank you, William. I hope you enjoy the hat. Listen, I say all this stuff just to make the point that if you love something enough, if you want it bad enough, if it brings peace to you and your family, you find a way. And I've seen so many people doing this lately, and I'll say it from time to time. I've seen folks doing exactly what I just talked about. Finding a different way to just supplement what you're doing. I saw it when I was at the 127 sale. A guy just driving a pickup truck with a magnet thing on the side. I buy these 8 things. And I don't niche down because I just don't want to. But for a lot of folks, it's the right thing to do. It's what Mike's doing out there. It's why I created Shop Commons. Because I wanted an outlet to sell off the stuff that I didn't want to sell. That doesn't mean it's junk. I've sold some great stuff over there to the right people who can capitalize on it more than I can. And if I do start sourcing more, I'm going to use that more. We have a lot of listings going up over there really quick. We've been selling them off in live sales as well. And just because I don't niche down doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do, y'all. I probably shouldn't have come all the way over here. I think for a lot of folks, it is the right thing to do, and a lot of you do it out there, and you focus on the things you enjoy. Here's another example, and I bought a total of, it was fill a bag for $5. I bought these 4 Oshkosh jeans, kids jeans, these 2 and another 2. So a total of 8 pairs of jeans for $5. Not huge money, but I needed inventory at the time. And these sold for 20 plus shipping, so we're obviously in the profit already. About $10. These only sold for $10 plus shipping, but I'll take it. It's $40 in listings in 3 different lots. It's not huge money, but 5 into 40 bucks, I'll take it. So I guess I would say, and you know this, do what you have to do first. Even if you don't like it, do what you have to do. I did it for years and years and years the way I had to do it, but I continuously tried to move that into a place of something that I wanted to do every day, that I'm excited about. I can't tell you how excited I am to have all that stuff out there. I'm so stoked. I'm so excited to go find that next storage unit or to get that phone call saying, hey, we got to sell this whole attic or whatever it is. I'm super excited. I'm sad that garage sales are slowing down for the year here, but I'm going to be ready to go in springtime because of all these systems we've put in place. And I hope that you guys can find that joy out there. I know some of you do. You already have it set up the way you just love to do it. You're not even concerned about the dollars and cents. You've put something in place that you just absolutely love as a part-time hobby, as something to make more money, go on vacation, whatever it is. And for those of you out there doing this for a full-time income, I sympathize with you. For sure, I know it can be a challenge, and you make these decisions all the time. Should I do this? Should I invest in this? Should I cut back over here? Should I not take this risk? All of these things are part of being a reseller, and we all do it in totally different ways. I just hope you find that sweet spot that makes you money and makes you happy. Speaking of that sweet spot and making me happy here, we sold a lot of 3. We sold the number 1, the number 3, and the number 2, which I don't know if I have one in here. I might have to go get one out of the other shed. And we sold all 3 of those on an eBay auction where we're donating the proceeds to, I don't, do we list this one? I gotta go look all the time in the comments. I think this one is going to, hold on, let me look. Yes, this one was actually a 50-50 charity auction. The donation on eBay has already been made to Samaritan's Purse. We're going to do some for Red Cross. You know, the more I realize how much I've been blessed by this audience watching me. Yeah, sometimes I get emotional. I've told you that before. It just, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm so thankful that I get to do what I get to do every day. And I know it would be way, way harder if I didn't have this camera in my hand and people watching these videos. And so we have many things in place this year. We have things, I'm putting so much out there, sometimes I can't even remember. Some of it's on Dibdit. Some of it is over on eBay here. Some of it we're doing on the live auctions themselves where donations are going to different places. And I have so much more that I want to do that I don't want to unveil yet, but I want to do so much more just as a thank you from me to you guys for all that you've done to us. And I mean, look at this. I can't say enough about the resellers that I know and that watch this channel. You're amazingly gracious and generous. This one, Troy says, I don't know if he wanted me to read it or not, but he says, please send me only number 3. Don't send the other ones. Sell them again and donate that to charity. Keep making great videos and shorts. So continue to look for these 50-50 charity auctions. Some of them are 100% charity auctions. This year with the ornaments that Reagan's doing, we're doing the typical charity stuff, but we added $1 to go to either Red Cross or to go to, what's the other one? Oh, Samaritan's Purse for all these disasters out there. We're trying to do things to help some of those communities, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. And I just want to say thank you, and we're going to ramp up our efforts this year to do that because we are so incredibly grateful for everything that's been given to us. And we want to be good stewards of that money and make sure that we, in turn, give back. And it's not like we've just started doing this stuff. Here's an example. We did this, 7-8 months ago. These Black Rifle Coffee Company mugs where I got them off of a connection at a brewery in town. I think it's a brewery, coffee brewery, I don't know, anyway. And we capitalized on that, but now I'm seeking them out. It's a little bit different. And these sold, we only have 6 of these left, so that has been a great sale. We did pay $5 a piece for everything that we bought, and some of them were better than others. These are the lower end ones, but they're still selling well. 2 of them sold for $42, $41.90 plus shipping. Oh my goodness, we got boots in here. We never got boots in here. Don't you get up on anything. But we got Reagan. I think I'm giving Turner a day off today because he's got a buddy over here. So we're going to let him go in there. But Reagan can't get a day off because she's getting paid more.
Hi, Boots.
All right. Oh. All right, what do you got?
Catherine, Lorraine, Casey.
Casey, that's Werther's and Wheat Pennies, which is kind of a joke over there on Trash to Cash podcast. So thank you. And who's the other one?
Julie, and they all got a black light.
Julie, they all got black lights now. We're not thanking the folks that have got these yet because we're going to run through them all. Matter of fact, next show, Reagan, the very first person to buy one, they've already bought it, but the very first person, we're going to thank them. And then the episode after that, we're going to thank a multitude of folks. And just a reminder, Reagan is going to be doing the shipping on these. And a couple things. We put 25 of these over on Dibdit.com, and we put 25 on CommonwealthPicker.com. And you can get $5 off if you've never bought anything on Dibdit.com if you put in code Commonwealth. So we figured we'd do that to get a little bit of a discount. And we already talked about the charitable portions of these. And you can combine shipping on both platforms and all that. And Reagan has been wonderful help. And you look especially beautiful today.
Thank you.
You got to get all fancy to go out to gymnastics. Yep. Look at all this stuff in her hair and everything. Anyway, thank you, Reagan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
I love buying Jeep stuff, especially if it's new, and Jeep stuff sells well for me. And this was a buy. I saw this sitting there at a yard sale, and I saw Jeep, and I'm like, man, that looks like it's in great shape. So I asked them how much it was, and they said $5. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably make a little bit of money on it. And then I saw the tag. I'm like, sweet. And I listed it for $30. Took an offer, or sent an offer, $28.45. Plus shipping. By the way, there's a lot of folks out there who say that you can't scale this type of business like I'm doing. So I'd say 2 things to that. You're largely right. There's a limit to this, right? You either run out of time, there's so many ways you can limit yourself in doing it the way that I do it. So I'm not out there saying, hey, this is a business you can make $1 million a year at. You can't. But what I am trying to do is do what I really, really love and to try to maximize it in such a way that it's still enjoyable. And that's why we're doing 3 parts to our business now. We've actually cut out a few things, if you haven't noticed. But what we're really trying to do is focus on the eBay side of it because I love it. And also do the live selling on dibdit.com and the static and live large lot selling wholesale. That's going to match my model. That's going to allow me to maximize the eBay part of my business because we're selling a bunch off in bulk, making a smaller amount and focusing on what I really love to do. Two things are bothering me. There's a fly flying around in here because I love to leave that door open. And the other is the James Brown is now missing from up there. So I'm thinking my buddy might go up there. Probably will fit if it'll stand up. Hey, I've got one more sale. This is actually a viewer sale. How Jess is here. What do you got?
Am I on film?
You don't have to be.
Cut it off. I found something crazy in the lot.
What? I gotta see it.
They don't want to see it.
All right. I couldn't leave that on here and not tell you. It's not that big of a deal. She could have said it, but I bought. Speaking of, it's kind of along these lines. It was a vape shop that was closing down. And so I went to their sale and then I started asking questions about more stuff. What do they have? They had printers at home. They had different thermal printers and stuff. So I gave them my number and all that. But I did buy a bunch of ink cartridges from them. And so I just bought them in bulk. I had 3 boxes full of them for 25 bucks. And I brought it home and I guess it's vape shop dispenser. I don't know what the heck it is, but there was a bag of weed in there. And no, I'm not. I gave you a treat off camera, but I'm not going to resell it. I'm not going to use it. Scooby-Doo, where are you? This one sold for $10.95 free shipping on this one. And this was a viewer sale as well. So we actually had 4 viewer sales today, which is more than we've had in a while. So I appreciate that very, very much. And I'm actually doing, believe it or not, I'm going to read the comment. By the time you see this, I will have gone to Tennessee and come back. My boy has a tournament over the weekend, and we're shutting the store down because we're running a bunch of stuff. Shop Comments, Dibdit, we're doing all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, we have some more coming up now that we're back, even though I haven't left yet, but I think you get the point. ADH Dave wants to run tons of stuff over there, and he wants to do a Christmas show. I want to do a stocking stuffer show and just go on for like 4 hours and just have every seller over there on Dibdit want to come on with me live and sell some stocking stuffer stuff. I think it'd be fun. And so we're doing that here pretty quick. But anyway, thank you for putting out amazing content. My name is Lucas. I have Northup's Treasures on eBay and TikTok. I'm 25 and I quit my full-time job to pursue reselling full-time. And videos like yours give me additional tips. And even though I've been on eBay for 7 years, so you started at 18. That's a good start. Thanks for the awesome keychain. My fiance will love it. Well, I appreciate it very, very much. And I don't know, maybe we'll throw in, that was on sale last week, so I feel a little bit bad. We're going to throw in a little sticker with it. So we appreciate you, and best of luck, and keep us updated in the comments. All right, I haven't done a Dibdit deal of the day, and I picked this up at a sale. You probably have seen it, or will see it soon on the Commonwealth Picker channel. I didn't know what it was. The lady was hilarious, and I could not leave it there for the price. And so I'm going to put it on Dibdit.com. Somebody might want it. Super cheap. I don't know what, but it'll be cheap. Check it out, Dibdit.com. All right, I had a bunch more sales today, and I'm actually going to put this camera down and either ship this stuff or put it all over there and film the next video because we had a really good weekend, and I'm going to take 5 days off. By the time you see this, I will just have been back, I think, or somewhere around there. I'm just excited to be able to go watch my boy play, and we've got all this stuff going on that I just want to take a little bit of break, even though it's Q4. And we had 34 things. I didn't want to make a 34 item video take forever. So we're just going to put the camera down and film the next one, and you'll see it in a day or two. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for stopping by and all of the wonderful things you do for me and my family. And I can't wait to see you next time.